in the consistency and continuity of building a relationship with an ever higher level of master spirit tutor. Hello, my name's ALICIA Power and I'm a spiritual intuitive, and my passion is teaching people how to connect to their spirit guides and how to hear their guides more clearly. And I've been talking two-way with my spirit guides for over 30 years. So today I'd like to address a question that one of you have asked me. And the question is, the name of my guide keeps changing, so I find this confusing. And I ask my guide, what is the correct name, and get another name. Please advise. So this question is about the names that your spirit guides give you and what happens when you get another name. It's quite a fun question. Now, I'm presuming that the person who asked this question has been in an inner visualization and they have come and met their guide. They've come into a moment where they have connected with their guide and have got to the point in that visualization, in that process, in that connection process, where they're asking their guide for their name. And sometimes I do want to say that the worlds of spirit do provide many mentors for us, not necessarily just one. You can, for a period of time, travel with one or two primary spirit tutors. I call them tutors because they train and teach us as souls, especially when we're dialoguing two-way with them. And we are so blessed that we can have very special spirit mentors working with us. But then there sometimes comes a time, especially when you've put your hand up to rapidly move forward in your exploration of yourself as a soul, in your decision and willingness to evolve as a soul quickly. There comes a time when a higher level of spirit tutor is being invited to come in the ethers, in the worlds of spirit, towards you, to tap you on the shoulder and to check with you if you're interested in working with them, to move faster, to develop into a higher version of yourself, even faster with more acceleration. So there's this beautiful progression of training. It is available for all of us if we decide to turn our attention into the worlds of spirit and put our hands up and ask for a spirit tutor to begin to mentor us. So there is this beautiful progression of training, which as an idea is an incredible idea, because most people in their childhood, in their early adulthood, really have very little idea that there are even spirit mentors and spirit tutors available to them, so close to them, just through the veil, surrounding them, walking with you, and at any moment wanting to reach through that veil to guide you, to uplift you, to heal you on a soul level and also on a human level as well. They are so available, and so we are so fortunate. And sometimes as we get into that adulthood, the questions start arising. Well, what am I doing here? Who am I really? Where have I come from? Do I have a soul? Who is that soul? Where has it come from? What skills and talents does it have? So lots and lots of questions of, who am I? What am I doing here? And it's at that moment that we, or somebody that is close to us that we love might pass away, pass back through that veil into the worlds of spirit. And at moments like that, it's a jarring moment, but it wakes us up to the fact that there is a veil separating us with something called the worlds of spirit, from where we came and to where we return. And so there can be a moment where you make a decision to investigate, discover more about that, and the worlds of spirit around you, your spirit mentors, are jumping up and down in joy, feeling so happy that you're wanting to sort of penetrate that that veil and learn about the worlds of spirit, learn about what is happening on the other side. Are there beings, are there people of love and light who know me, who love me, who want to support me? And when you've moved through that stage and have started to open your mind, open your heart, your perception to beings of love and light who are mentoring you on the worlds of spirit, then there comes a stage of exploration of who are these beings, how can they help me, and can I have a two-way conversation with them? That's another incredible idea for us to even bring into our lives. Two-way, clear, dialoguing conversations with mentors who know the entirety of our history in this lifetime, but also the entirety of our history in past incarnations, and also the journey of our soul, the journey our soul has taken, even earlier than any human lifetimes. So where it's come from, its history, its soul history, sometimes termed the Akashic records. And so a moment like that, we are turning our attention to our spirit guides and we're finding out who they are. And part of that is, what is your name? So I'd like to talk a little bit about this concept of the name of your spirit guide. Because your spirit guide will, after you've asked them, what is your name? They will give you a term, a terminology, a word. And as I say, sometimes it could be Tom, Fred, Harry, whatever. Some word that in English or in any language that you love to speak in that is familiar to you, or they might give you a word you're not familiar with. And I term all of those words, including the familiar names, I term them as phone numbers or the sound code that belongs to that particular spirit guide. I won't start sort of hypothesizing on what the sound code could be. I'm just saying that they will give you a sound code, a phone number. And there are ways to find out what that is, which is to push your attention into that moment where they're delivering that word to you and break it down into the letters so that you're getting each letter one by one. So I just want to say that the name is important. It steers you and directs your inner attention to a coordinate point in the worlds of spirit, which is a vast quantum space, ocean of spirit, okay? And you could say that there are matrices and coordinate points in those matrices. So every consciousness in the worlds of spirit is sitting at a coordinate point, is sitting at a very specific place in the worlds of spirit. Of course, they travel, and they travel extensively. But your sound code, your phone number for them, is a particular vibration, and especially in a moment where there's an agreement with them that that is the sound code that they'd like to give you, that's an agreement, and you go, okay, that's the one I'm going to use, and that's how I'm going to call you, and that's what I'm going to focus on in a moment where I'd like to reach into the worlds of spirit and find you again, so that we can continue our conversation, so we can continue our mentoring. So this sound code and these names are vital, actually, in the consistency and continuity of building a relationship with an ever higher level of master spirit tutor. Isn't that exciting that there is a path of training, a path of mentoring, and it does actually get ever higher? So just mentioning that as well. And this question is, the name of my guide keeps changing, so what is with that? And so I would like to say that when you open up your inner visualization process, I often teach a ritual visualization process, which just like any ritual engages your unconscious and lines up your unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. So the ritual is a moment where you're taking the time to build your attention and to harness your attention and intention and funnel it and point it into the moment that you want to stay focused in on, which is connecting with your guide. So a ritualized visualization, I quite often do suggest for people who are just at the beginning stages of connecting with their guides, definitely to do that. The worlds of spirit are all about energy, and if you can target your energy into that moment, it increases your strategic focus, and the result is exactly what you're wanting, which is to connect with that exact spirit guide. Very, very important. Now, in a moment like that, where you've done that kind of ritual visualization, and you're in that moment of wanting to connect with that guide, and the name that you receive is another name, right there is a moment where another mentor has arrived to work with you so compassionately and so lovingly. And it's in that moment where I suggest to people to begin to interview that new spirit being. Simple questions like, what level of training am I going to receive from you? What is your speciality? Things like that. So if you get a new name, in answer to this person's question, if you do get another new name, it does indicate that it's another spirit being with another set of specialities, with maybe a higher echelon of training available for you. And in that moment, it's a beautiful, sincere, intimate moment of connection, but also a two-way Q&A, question and answer of, okay, who are you? How are you going to work with me? And what kind of results are you going to mentor me in? Beautiful questions and a beautiful moment with a new spirit guide, with probably a higher spirit guide, or a spirit guide who wants to be part of your team of spirit guides. I personally work with many tens of spirit guides. I don't know how you say that, like many. And they've all got different specialities. I'm very comfortable with working with very high, also more the pedestrian everyday help that I need in my life. I won't go into the detail, but oh my goodness, I just work with so many different ones with all of their specialities. And it's huge fun. It becomes like a family. They all know what they're doing with you, how they're working with you. And with a little bit of practice, they're just there available for you when you need them for a specific kind of moment or event in your life. So the name, if you're getting a new name, it indicates a new member of your spirit guide tribe, your spirit guide team, your support team in this lifetime. So I would regard that as a sacred moment, a key moment, and just spend quiet moments, quiet time interviewing that guide, finding out who they are. So this little training video is in response to that question, and it did cover a lot of other kind of background information to give context just to that interesting moment of getting a name for your guide. And if you are interested in learning how to connect with your guide and learning how to hear them, I have a very introductory 6 modules only, but beautiful, deep inner processes where I take my time and I help you very slowly get used to noticing how to hear your spirit guide on the inside. We build up to it nice and slow. It's very logical. I'm very aware of how this works in a technical way, of where to listen in your mind, and it makes it a lot easier, and I'm very experienced. So down below is the link, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Namaste.